Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of the Rider Happy Hour. My name is Peter Klein. Thank you very much for tuning in today. This week, we are going to look at last week's game and then this upcoming week's game. Very simple stuff. So let's get right into it. And we begin with the Riders' win on week 1. In week 1? For week 1? During week 1? Amidst week 1? They played in week 1 against Edmonton and picked up a victory over the Elks. Sorry, I'm just realizing now we had the wrong color up back there. Gotta get some green going for your boys coming out with a good win, and really a complete team effort, I would say, on this one. The offense, it got going really, really well. And we talked about guys who were going to be X factors coming into the season, and we got one of them with Bain absolutely balling out in this game. I said that he was going to be the difference between the offense being good and great, and he was great in week 1 with being a very reliable deep threat, blowing past some Edmonton DBs on a few plays. If he stays like that, I do really think that it unlocks the offense in some really exciting ways for Saskatchewan moving forward. And then you had Stearns, who was reliable. He came up with some really key plays to extend drives, and it was clear that Trevor Harris was comfortable with him in kind of a security blanket, a safety blanket sort of a way. That was, I thought, a real key to Saskatchewan's success in moving the football in this game. He came up in some of those, having worked out here in Calgary for a long time. I call them the Markway McDaniel plays, where he was able to come up with those big 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 conversions to help keep the ball moving. And I thought it was good that those guys stepped up, because it was a quiet day for Schaefer Baker and for Emelis. And those guys are going to get theirs at some point. And so this really did strike me as one of those games where you make the opposition make a choice. There's 4 that Harris really trusts out there. Who are you going to take away? You're going to try to take away Bain? Okay, Emelis will be there. You're going to try to take away Stearns? All right, Schaefer Baker's going to be there, and vice versa. So this is an offense that all of a sudden now has some weapons, and Trevor Harris did a really, really good job of spreading the ball around to all of them. He isn't going to focus on, okay, we need to get Bain going. We need to get Emelis going. He is going to go to, okay, who is open? And who is going to get us the first down? So I think that this is a real positive step for Saskatchewan. Now, it took them a little bit to get going, admittedly. But overall, as my microphone comes falling down, overall, this was, I thought, a Saskatchewan offense that looked good in week 1. Room for improvement for sure. And I think a lot of that comes in the run game. I'm very choked up about it, as there wasn't a whole lot of room for AJ Ouellette out there. They need him to get going a little bit, because while it was great that Stearns was able to come up with some big plays on 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, it would be nice to not be in 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8 all that often. But they were, because they were trying to get Ouellette going, and there was just no room out there. And I think some of the credit does go to Edmonton's defense. I do think that you have to hold off on judgment a little bit. Hey, it's week 1. But also, Ferland gets ejected as he punches a dude in the side of the head. And so now you have to work a couple guys in, and there just wasn't as much room as you would like for Ouellette. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but I do think that they are going to need him to get rolling a little bit more. In terms of the defense, they came to play, especially late in this game. It was big play after big play after the big play. And I think you can really see where Corey Mace shined on this defense in how they were able to rally to the football. That, to me, is one of the key signs of a very good defense. When you have 4, 5, 6 guys around the ball carrier, that shows that there is a commitment, there is an enthusiasm, there's also an athleticism, and it really does show things, or it really does kind of limit the big plays that other teams can get from broken tackles and things like that, because you have so many guys around there. And it also shows a team speed on defense. And I think they really did thrive in that area, limiting some of the big plays for Edmonton that we saw. And it was a full team effort. It wasn't perfect, for sure. There were times where the secondary got beat a little bit more than I would like. And I think that is probably, I'm not going to say the weak spot for this Saskatchewan team, because I still don't trust the pass rush all that much, although I think Micah Johnson did have a good game out there in week 1. But the secondary did come up with the big plays when they needed them to, and that was a really good sign for Saskatchewan. So I think overall, when you look at the Rider game, when you look at the offense, I come away from it happy. You look at the defense, I come away happy with that as well. And coaching, like I said, I like the job that Corey Mace did. I think that it's week 1 and they won, so all the quotes are going to be great and all of that, but it does seem like everyone's kind of pulling in the right direction, and it does seem like he has the buy-in from his players. And when you look around the league, Montreal was kind of the only, I guess Toronto as well, but when you look around the West, recording this on Friday, Winnipeg hasn't looked good in either game they played so far. BC looks like they have some holes. They just beat Edmonton, and I did not come away from that Calgary win against Hamilton overly impressed. I'm not saying the West is wide open, the Riders are the favorites or anything like that, but what I am saying is that there is a path for this Saskatchewan team. We said it in week 1, or in the preview show. There is a path to some special things this year for this team, and if they can continue to gel in this way and players continue to step up, then this is going to be a very fun season. And it continues this week as they take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Riders get the main event spot of the weekend as they take on Hamilton Sunday at 5 o'clock. Looking ahead at this game, I thought, I went to the game. Hamilton played out here in Calgary at McMahon Stadium. I thought Mayer had more success than he usually does in pushing the ball downfield. I think Harris can have a similar day in that way. So I do expect either Bain or Emelis to have some pretty good games for Saskatchewan here against Hamilton and try to attack the secondary in a bit more of a vertical way. And I wonder if they are able to get Ouellette rolling in this game. They did have some success using him in the passing game. And we just talked about 4 passing weapons that Saskatchewan has. If you can't get that run game going, but you still don't just want the linebacking group and everyone to be able to back up and just be able to play things deeper, maybe a couple of swing passes, a couple of screen passes to Ouellette, try to get him going, get him out in space, get him lined up on some DBs that he is significantly bigger than, and try to get that truck stick rolling and see if they can get this team into a better spot on second and manageable type of situations. So I do think that is going to be something that this team focuses on. On the defensive side of the football, I thought the Stampeders did a really good job of shutting down Hamilton for most of this game. The Ticats get the late comeback. They don't end up winning it, but I thought Calgary did a really good job of pressuring Bo Levi Mitchell, not really allowing him to have time to take advantage of the speed that Tim White has and try to shut them down there. I thought Demario Houston was really good for Calgary in week 1. I would expect Thurman to have a pretty good game here in week 2 for Saskatchewan as, again, the leader of that defense. White, I think, is the key for the Hamilton offense. If Saskatchewan can kind of take that away, I think they'll be in good shape. And again, a lot of that comes down to the pass rush. We saw in the Ottawa-Winnipeg game the effect that a leaky offensive line can have that Winnipeg has been dealing with right now. If Saskatchewan can make Hamilton's offensive line leaky, put that pressure on Bo Levi Mitchell. He scrambled a couple of times, but I do think that he's not the most mobile of quarterbacks back there. So if Saskatchewan can put some pressure in his face, I do think they will be able to come up with quite a bit of success. And then lastly, the one critique, and didn't do this in the first part, but mentioning it here, penalties have to go down. Penalties, especially on special teams, man. And it went both sides. Like, Edmonton had some issues with penalty flags as well. But I thought for Saskatchewan, the special teams issues that they had really took some big plays off of the board. And I don't think that is something that can continue. Well, I know it's not something that can continue. That was a hallmark of this team in a real negative way. Honestly, for a few eras, this team has had a couple of those issues, right? Like, when you look back 05-06, like the pre-Grey Cup there in 07, but like the Schultz, Nate Davis, those guys, there were some discipline issues with Danny Barrett's group there. And now you look here in recent time, that has been an issue that has crept up again for Saskatchewan. And sorry, I'm dealing with all of a sudden starting to lose my voice, but this team, while we did see that there are improvements, not good enough to make up for like big losses. And I know the yardage issue for penalties. Hopefully that helps. The yardage issue penalty wise, that is skewed a little bit because one guy took a 25-yard penalty for punching a dude upside the head. So one penalty for 25 yards, gonna set the averages off a little bit, but it was still a bit of an undisciplined game for Saskatchewan. And when you look at how difficult it is in this league to make up for 1st and 20 and those types of plays there, or drive extenders that allow the other team to keep things rolling and keep your defense on the field, those are absolute backbreakers. So it's better than it was, but it still wasn't good enough in week 1. And so that's something I think this team needs to address coming up here in week 2. And I do think, sorry, all choking by me aside, Riders come away with a win in this game. I have Saskatchewan going to 2-0 with a 28-15 win over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So, apologies for all the choking, but that is going to do it for the Rider Happy Hour this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is what it's going to be like every week. We're not going to do big Broadways here. They're going to be 15 minutes, half an hour, sometimes even less than that as we get ready for the week. So, nice little digestible thing to crack a cold one and enjoy as we talk some Saskatchewan Roughrider football. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you are liking the video if you're watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for just Rider content, it is going to live in the playlist on YouTube. For podcast listeners, it is all right now under the Couch Potato Diary feed. So make sure you subscribe, leave a review, follow me on social media. I'm at Primetime Klein. Enjoy the game tonight or this weekend, everybody, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day.